Have you ever noticed how Microsoft, like something good will happen, a lot of good things will happen, and then next thing you know, something bad will happen, right? And the bad thing will get way much more play than all the good things combined. It's kind of crazy to me the way that kind of works out. Unfortunate to say the least, especially if you're Microsoft, because you're like, man, we really can't do anything. Like literally, and I've gone over this multiple times, Sony has had one of the worst years I've ever seen from a first-party standpoint, from a game company standpoint. The amount of things that are happening there, the influx, you have your CEO kind of leaving, you've got all these people that were entrenched there for 20, 30 years leaving, you close down studios, you cancel games, your best studio will likely not make a new game for this entire generation. They've been relegated to a canceled game, as well as remasters and remakes of games that have already been remade or remastered or gotten updates to run better as it is. So, I think it's been one of the worst years ever for Sony. But still, for some reason, Xbox gets all the hate. Like Sony has like the worst year in their history, or one of the worst years in their history, and yet the way we're kind of looking at this is people look at Microsoft as the bad guy still, or like, that's deserved. Like in a year where people should have been talking about PlayStation because of the negative stuff going on there, everybody was trying to turn positives into negatives on the Xbox side, if you understand what I'm saying. So now Microsoft is in more trouble, and everybody's talking about this, accused of using AI art to promote games. Some gamers accuse Xbox of using art generated by AI programs to promote indie games on social media. Xbox has been accused of this, using AI art in social media. It's controversial, and many gamers criticized Microsoft for posting what they believe to be an AI generated image. When services such as ChatGPT became a big hit, content generated by artificial intelligence became a contentious topic. I mean, everybody is sort of talking about this for one reason or another. While small segments of AI generated text are hard to detect, AI's art imperfections are easy to spot. Many gamers and artists criticize AI companies for training their models using the work of artists without consent. So the conversation gets pretty heated when a company is caught using that kind of content. But again, a lot of people are using AI these days for pictures and things like that. I see it every single day. But we'll get further into this. The Xbox account, ID at Xbox, tweeted asking fans what their favorite 2023 indie games were. The tweet used an art piece that showcased kids using sleds in the snow, together with the word ID at Xbox. While the art seems normal at first, it's easy to spot uncanny details, such as children with mustaches, weirdly shaped objects, or even a man whose lips are fused with his teeth. This enraged some of the community, as several gamers believed that these were signs that Microsoft was using AI art. After the controversy grew, Xbox deleted the original tweet. Listen, this is what I want to say, right? Like, and people will go, well, they should just know better or whatever, because I'm sure that's one of the things that will come at a certain point. But, when I'm sitting here looking at this AI art or whatever, it's just like some little snow thing or whatever. It's not nondescript. It's not, taking the place of a game or anything like that. Somebody probably just used the AI, one of the AI things, for this reason or whatever. So I don't really look at this and go, oh, this is a huge deal. Like, what are they thinking? It's awful. It's terrible. Microsoft should be, ashamed of themselves, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not looking at this and saying any of that stuff. I don't see that in this. There's no malice here. And I also want to say that it doesn't really look like Microsoft is, they're not trying to really kind of get into these types of situations where people are trying to hate on them. Like, it's not Phil Spencer running the ID at Xbox, thing, that's what I'm saying. It's not really up to Microsoft to do that. Like, Phil Spencer's not running this. Satya Nadell's not running this. You got somebody, probably some intern or something, running that. And maybe somebody might goes, oh, well, they should know better. Why would they know better, right? They probably don't realize that this is like a thing, that this is something that honestly is affecting things the way that it is, but there are a lot of people that were unhappy about it, so like I look at it and I go, are people actually unhappy about this, or is this just like something that people are just jumping on because it's Microsoft? So gamers tend to push back against the use of AI art. Sometimes some developers seem to have somewhat more positive opinions on the new technology. For example, Persona series director Mr. Wada shared a positive opinion about AI earlier in the year. According to him, AI art can be useful for generating sketches or come up with different concepts for the same idea. However, he did not believe that AI art could replace artists or that it should be employed in the final product. Microsoft, of course, announced new AI partnerships last month, in what seems to be ready to use more of its technology in game development by offering products such as Azure AI and Copilot for Microsoft 365 to developers. For example, Microsoft aims to provide developers with new tools. Whether this will turn out to work as intended remains to be seen, though. Again, I don't really look at this as some horrible thing, like egregious thing, like, oh my gosh, this is putting somebody out of business. I just look at this as it's a social media person. They probably quickly just did something on, one of those AI things or whatever, and tried to get out a tweet. It wasn't meant to be all this, what it's blown up to be. And people really, I think, need to kind of just chill with this. Not everything is meant to be super egregious. I don't get it. It's almost like, I'm sure Sony could have done this and nobody would have said anything, but the fact that Microsoft did it means that, of course, everybody's going to talk about it and everybody's going to hate on it and, kind of second guess Microsoft and things like that. So, at the end of the day, I think we'll have to wait and see, how they kind of respond, or if they even bother to respond. It's like, to me, I wouldn't really necessarily, respond to this per se. I would more or less kind of say, listen, Microsoft, not everything warrants some huge response, and not everything warrants having to defend itself over these things. That's just how I feel about it. You guys might feel a little bit differently than me. I don't really know, but that's just sort of how I'm looking at this, and I think that Microsoft should probably look at it in much a similar way as well, just going forward. And at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. Microsoft has to prove themselves to a lot of people. I don't think they'll ever be able to prove themselves to everyone, but again, we should be at this particular point, with what's going on, and kind of just go, listen, Microsoft, they're trying to do the best that they can. Maybe give them a break once in a while, right? Like, okay, voice your opinion. You're not happy with this. Maybe don't do it in the future, but let's wait and see before we just totally criticize them and destroy them over all this stuff. So anyway, with that being said, I'm Crap Gamer. This has been Crap Gamer Reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think down below, if this is a big deal or not. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.